Welcome back to this reading. I know it's been a little while, but I've been taking a little break. Last week I had finals. I finally graduated, so I'll have a lot more time to do this. Originally I was going to do this on Instagram, but I decided to just post it on YouTube and do a different reading from Instagram. But anyways, as the title suggests, this is reading on how you can overcome your current challenges. So upon number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for those of you guys who want crystals, number 1 is this red jasper. Number 2 is rutilated quartz. Number 3 is going to be this clear quartz. And number 4 is this purple fluorite. Okay, as usual, feel free to pick 1, 2, 3, or maybe all 4. Alright, so we have pile number 1. We're going to start off with the eel card and the horse card, both in reversed. So usually, or sometimes, these two cards kind of signify some sort of change in direction, maybe some sort of resistance. And here I'm getting resistance. And I feel like most of this resistance comes from other people or towards other people. The earth fire is usually about some kind of connection or being with friends or family. But in reversed, I feel like this is either saying to distance yourself from these people, or that these people might be toxic for you or not be the greatest influence for you. It is a general reading, so keep in mind that what you're going through might be different from someone else. So really think about if these people they might have their good intentions, or they might have good intentions for you, but they might be short-sighted themselves, or these people might just be someone that you just need to distance yourself away from. So regardless of their intent, whether it's good or bad, it feels like a lot of them are kind of pulling you away from your goals or your manifestations. So watch a movie. The way I read the self-oracle card is not always literal. So for some of you, maybe watching a movie you might get your mind off of these things, but generally this is saying to kind of distance yourself, spend some time alone, self-reflect, and kind of see how you can get to where you are without any outside influences or distractions. If you have a certain goal in mind and people are trying to get you to move in a different direction, this is saying to connect back to that goal or your manifestation. Some of you might have to distance yourself completely, as I said before, but remember that this is a general reading. We have, there is power and patience. I have all the time I need. So be patient with yourself, with your progress and your goals. I feel like some of you might be dealing with people who are not, they may not be psychic supportive, or they may not feel supportive. This is also saying to trust in yourself and to know that you have the power in yourself. Don't rely on other people to say whether or not you are doing the right thing or not, or whether or not you are in the right direction, especially if those people aren't exactly helping you. And then we have I'm embracing a paradigm shift. So if something unexpected or pleasant happens, don't take that as a dead end. So that was for pile number 1. If that resonated with you, be sure to leave a thumbs up or a comment down below. We move on to pile number 2. Oh, and as usual, I do have my Instagram down below and my Etsy for personal readings. Moving on to pile number 2. Pile number 2 with the Rooted Lady Quartz. Okay, we'll start off with the Shaman card in reversed. So this is equivalent to the Magician card, which is usually about manifestations. This card in reverse doesn't mean the manifestation isn't coming to you, but it does indicate some sort of resistance to these manifestations, because we also have the rest card here. So this can be taken literally that you need to take a break and rest, but more so it is about letting go and letting these manifestations come to you. So letting go doesn't mean giving up, it just means accepting where you are now, because the more you focus on what you hate, the more you focus on what you don't have, the more you kind of perpetuate that cycle, because putting the energy of want just tells the universe that you don't have it, and the more you tell the universe you don't have something, then you continue to put out the energy of not having that thing. And before I get to the Mirror card, we have I open my heart to receive love more fully. So this is again talking about receiving manifestations, being more receptive instead of chasing after it. This is also something to keep an open mind, more so in a way of just like be more open, be more receptive, and just see where things take you. The whole point is to get rid of those resistance. And then we have our Mirror card. So the Mirror in reversed is equivalent to the Hangman, and that talks about resistance, stalling, the inability to change. So I feel like this is a reminder for some of you that you need to get over this, and that you need to, again, be more receptive to what is coming to you and be more open-minded. For some of you, I also feel like you might be influenced by other people, or other people might be telling you what to do. And we have intuition. This is saying that even if those people have your best interest in mind, or if they want to help you, or they're trying to help you, use your intuition to know whether or not they are actually helping you, or if you just need to kind of not really distance yourself. I don't think those people are exactly toxic for most of you, but I feel like you just need to listen to yourself more than some other people. And for some of you, it could be that these people are keeping you in a space where you're kind of, I wouldn't say trapped, but you're kind of in this mindset because other people are kind of convincing you that a particular way or set is right. And once you get past that, and you kind of reverse that, then more things can start coming to you as you start being more receptive and being open. Alright, pile number 4 with clear quartz. Start off with the Struggle card in reversed. So this card, the main focus of it isn't exactly about the lack of struggle, but I feel like with this card, paired with the injustice card, I feel like you may not, you're kind of not sure if this is the right direction or the right path. With this sort of card, it's more like things are too easy, or things you might be good at it, but it's not really like giving you that passion or that spark, which is kind of indicated by the Breath of Life in reversed here. So the Injustice card, this isn't exactly about moral issues. For most of you, it might be asking if what you're doing is worth it. I feel like most of you who chose this kind of know deep down whether or not you want to do this, but you just want this reading to clarify it. And again, with the Breath of Life and reversed, if what you're doing is completely draining and you're just forcing yourself to do it, or you're forcing yourself to enjoy it, it might not be for you. Because no matter how much, like even if something is really easy, if you try to force yourself to like it, it's not going to work out, and that applies for anything or anyone. So for your self cards, so self-care cards, you guys got 4 here. So we have massage, deep breathing, create an altar, and dream journal. So these are all different ways. You don't have to do all 4 of these, but these are all different ways to kind of create space for yourself, get rest, deflect, de-stress, and be able to reflect on it. I feel like those of you for dream journaling, maybe you can try to create solutions in your dreams, or I forget what it's called, but there's this technique where you kind of fall asleep before you fall asleep, you think about a solution, you think about a problem, or as you fall asleep, and supposedly you're supposed to dream about that or get a clear answer for that. So that could be something. Create an altar is again creating space for yourself, using that, having a meditative space or just a quiet space. Massage, taking care of yourself physically, de-stressing. And deep breathing, again, especially if you're prone to anxiety, there are some deep breathing exercises you can do, or just doing deep breathing to de-stress and kind of relieve yourself. Not relieve, that's not the right word, but kind of, you know what I mean, to de-stress and relax yourself in general. So I feel like some of you actually, no, that's not the right pile. I'll get to that one later. Forget I said that. But we also have I trust myself to know my heart. So again, actually, no, this might be similar to pile number 2 as well. I feel like pile numbers 3 and 4 might also relate to pile number 2. But going back to this is saying to trust your intuition, know what you want. Again, as I said earlier, I feel like some of you just want to, some of you know the answer deep down, but you want that clarification, or you want that validation. And this is that validation. So that was pile number 3. Moving on to pile number 2. Moving to pile number 4. Pile number 4 with the purple fluorite. Alright, so the main message for pile number 4 is I feel like it's about getting rid of resistance or going with the flow. So we have the Forest Lovers here. I don't think this has much to do with a romantic relationship, maybe for some of you, but I feel like this is about those of you who prefer working alone, or you might be the type to not ask for help. This is kind of saying to try and connect with someone that you can talk to or ask for help with, because those of you who chose this pile, The hawk card is someone who sees a lot, but I feel like those of you who chose this, you're like very insightful, you're very intelligent, but you may not be aware of everything that's going around you. And this is kind of like having another pair of eyes on your situation. This could be someone who works for you, or someone you work with, or it could just be like a friend or someone from the outside that can give you a new perspective. So this is kind of saying that despite how much they see, or despite hawks or birds of prey having this great sense of vision or great sense of sight, they don't see the smoke. They don't see the smoke behind them. They're kind of like blind to that. And this indicates that there is some imbalance where you're denying, or kind of denying struggles, or you're kind of denying it altogether. Some of you might be a little bit too prideful to ask for help. So that's where this kind of comes in. So the Guardian, I kind of see as a trap card, or kind of a blockage there, where the Guardian is kind of blocking your path. And the Guardian, or this figure here, represents kind of your mental blockages, or your blockages where you kind of have to get over your ego, or you get over your pride. I forgive myself for being so hard on myself, for all that pressure. I am more than enough. So here it feels like many of you have put a lot of work into some things. Some of you could be working on manifestations, but the manifestations or the reward may not be showing up for you. This isn't about knowing. This isn't just about knowing that you did enough, but it is also saying to sit back and allow things to come to you. So if you haven't seen part number 2, that could relate to you as well. It also talks about letting go of resistance. Then we have I'm deeply grounded yet flow with the wind chained. Again, that is about resistance. Again, just because you're kind of going with the flow, it doesn't mean that you're just going in some random direction where you don't have any plans whatsoever. You still have your manifestation set in mind, your rewards, your goals set in mind, but you're not in this linear, straight direction. You're not on this strict inner path, because you're allowing yourself to kind of explore other options, getting to there, if that makes any sense. True strength is resilience, a true flow over force. Yeah, so they're all basically saying pretty much the same thing. This is also saying to ask for help. You don't feel like you get to push through things alone. So again, for those of you who might be too prideful to ask for help, you're kind of afraid of asking for help, this is saying that if you're more vulnerable and you open yourself up, that kind of shows you being a stronger character than someone who just avoids asking for help in general, or avoids asking for help altogether. We have connect with a womb. So this isn't exactly literal. This is more about connecting with your divine feminine energy, or your feminine energy, at least for this reading. So feminine doesn't mean being feminine doesn't mean being like male, like man, woman, male, female in the traditional or literal sense. It just means like connecting to that feminine energy part of yourself, kind of like the yin and yang. Feminine energy is more receptive. Again, talking about being more receptive and getting rid of resistance. Feminine energy is also intuitive. So again, going just kind of like not thinking too logically on things. Even though logic is pretty important, I feel like there needs to be a balance between intuition and logic, because you can get carried away with numbers and statistics, but if you ignore your intuition altogether, then that can kind of pull you away from where you want to go. Instead of busy doing, you are just being. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Nikki Limo, she kind of talks about her therapist saying that you are a human being, not a human doing, and that's the whole energy of this. Just be more receptive, and just go with the flow.